Hi friends, Astrologer Joe here, and I wanted to do a quick update video because a lot is happening so far, and I just wanted to get you up to speed on what's going on. I've been tuning into this stuff for about a day or two, and I'm going to give you my take on what's really going on at the end of this video. So this is a very interesting time for the United States. If you've been paying attention, I talked about this on the last couple of videos, especially the live stream. I've got some charts. We'll just review them real quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that, but I basically, am seeing some very interesting strategy taking place here. So I decided to put this video together real quick. Chaos at the White House, or is this a brilliant strategy? And so, everything that I've been trying to show you guys over the last couple of years, especially since the election 4 years ago, where Biden became president again, I said we are witnessing some sort of military intelligence strategy going on here that's taking place. And I do believe we are seeing this unfolding here right now. But things are escalating, and they will continue to escalate the rest of this month going into July. So get your popcorn out, friends, because it's going to be one hell of a wild ride just in the next week or two because of the full moon coming in and the chaos on 6/14 and 15, as I pointed out. But anyway, let me get into what this big deal is going on. If you're not aware right now, the forums and the internet is blowing up because Elon is making all kinds of statements about and criticizing the big, beautiful bill that Mr. Trump has, named. And he's like, I can't take this anymore. This is garbage. We are spending. Things are getting out of hand, and it appears that Trump and Elon are at odds with each other. But wait till the end when I give you my take on all this, okay? So here is the post that he posted. If you haven't had a chance on X, it will massively increase the already gigantic budget. He's talking about the deficit to 2.5 trillion and burden the American citizens with crushing unsustainable debt. I'm sorry, but I can't stand it anymore. This massive outrage, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Yes, I would agree with that. But friends, you have to understand, we are talking about an entrenched deep state at every level, not just the federal government, not just at the state levels, but at the local levels. These people that are in power, we are learning, have been put there with deep pockets from the deep state. And when I say deep state, I don't just mean the United States. These tentacles go all the way back to the Vatican. They go back to London. They go back to Israel. They go back to these secret societies and these groups that are hiding in the shadows, pulling the strings. And so, again, this is what you have to understand. Don't just look at the players and the moves that they're making. You've got to look at the bigger picture. Of course, I talk about all of this stuff in my private community, and my members there already know how deep we've gone onto this topic about who runs the world, who are the people, who are the families. I've discussed this in length, the whole presentation. I think I did several presentations on this. So anyway, again, this is just superficial. And so, but it gets people awake. Also, it looks like Trump is retaliating at some point, or he's making statements like this. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do that. Again, it appears that these two are at odds with each other, or there is basically something going on here of conflict. I'm going to suggest to you, do not buy into it. Please do not buy into it. It's not what you think it is. Okay? I'm just giving you a little tip there. Do not get upset. Do not think this is real. There's something much deeper going on here, and I will discuss it at the end. But this is what's going on right now as we speak, as of today. I'm doing this video on the 5th, and we haven't seen anything yet. Things are going to continue to escalate from now until the full moon and then after the full moon. So here is Elon retaliating once again with his post on X. Time to drop the really big bomb. And he sends it to real Donald Trump, is that he is on this list right here. on these files. That's the real reason they have not made it public. Have a nice day, DJT. All right, listen. It appears to be getting ugly, okay? But if you understand, how to take down this deep state worldwide, you've got to basically, rub people the wrong way in order to distract and confuse. So anyway, I'm seeing that right now. These two going at it, I was seeing it during the Trump indictments and all of that nonsense going on with the courts. My spidey senses were picking up out this is being orchestrated on purpose. And something to that nature is being orchestrated on purpose here. So don't buy into it, okay? You want to watch it, you want to watch the show, great. Get your popcorn out, enjoy the theater. But I'm telling you, there's something much deeper going on here. And so this is the rumblings of it. Meanwhile, okay, while all this stuff is going on, this criminal country that's basically run by NATO, all right, and the deep state, is basically dropping bombs on Russian air bases, okay? Even though they thought they had a quasi-agreement of not, settling down. But again, this country is being instigated. This country is being used. They're being given drones and weapons from NATO. And when I say NATO, again, you have to think deep state, worldwide deep state cabal that wants control. Trump is such a threat, okay, to this deep state, this worldwide deep state, that they feel like they have to either eliminate him or cause him as many problems as possible so that he cannot govern. And that's what we're seeing, friends. But something deeper is happening here, okay? Of course, Putin talks about a response, and he is striking back. And Putin is not going to stand by. He knows what's going on. Remember the Tucker Carlson interview? I believe it was February of last year. He said, they are provoking me. They are provoking us. They are, doing all these things, putting these military installations on our border. They're instigating. Again, we're talking about NATO. We're talking about the deep state. And so this was all, I mentioned this all about a year and a half ago, friends. I'm not the only one, but we could see the writing on the wall that some instigation was taking place here. And here we are. Because in order to destroy things, they love to take people to war. This is what they've done in the past, create conflict in order to distract from what's really going on. So this is very important to watch, especially this month. The United States is going to be in the crosshairs. Because of the astrology as well. And then we have these two turncoats, okay, Graham and Blumenthal, who go over to the Ukraine, country, and they are basically saying, oh, don't worry, we'll take care of you. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. We're going to do this and do that, and, we'll protect you, because they are part of the deep state. These two clowns are absolutely part of the deep state, okay? And so now we're seeing who the players are. We're seeing them on the right and the left. So this is part of the disclosure process that's taking place, friends. We need to know who the players are, who the major players are, and there's stuff happening behind the scenes, no doubt about it. But again, it's getting harder and harder to find real news. So we have to rely on the forums. Redacted does a fantastic job once again. I suggest these two videos here. Tucker Carlson warns the neocons and the deep state is trying to create war. And then, of course, the big, beautiful bill and Elon out. I would say that Redacted is an actual real news source, especially since Clayton was a real reporter for ABC and some of these other big companies for many, many years. So he is a real reporter. And I like the fact that he and his wife and his team there don't hold back. They dive into the conspiracy stuff. They dive into real news. They bring on some fantastic interviewers. And so if you want to get real news, subscribe to Redacted. Okay? While that's all going on, of course, there's being widely reported that these two Chinese bioterrorists were trying to smuggle in some sort of agent to destroy our food and our water. Okay? Now remember, if you've been following me for a while, I talked about how there's going to be all kinds of terrorist attacks or attacks on our food, our water supply, our infrastructure. because that's what was being shown. Okay, the astrology is showing me that as well, and we're still in that zone, friends. So we are seeing this. This is another very important story to pay attention to. That that they're trying to infiltrate our country through smaller means. It's not like big attacks. Although we are seeing attacks like the Denver attack that we saw in Boulder, but there is absolutely this small time stuff going on to cause as much chaos as possible. So we need to watch this, because unfortunately it's happening in the blue states, in the blue cities, because they're easier to control. The politicians have already been bought off. In the red states, that's a different story. Okay, a lot of people carry weapons, and if they see something, they will interfere and shoot people that are going to cause terrorist attacks. So this is why, again, if you live in a blue state or a blue city, pay extra attention. That's all I'm suggesting, because those are the places that are going to continue to be under attack by these criminals that are trying to infiltrate the country. Now, if you watched my live stream, I talked about the astrology and how this month, and especially the next couple of weeks, it was going to be really challenging because of these outer planets, the 4 outer planets that we have right here, that are going to be basically clashing with each other. Okay, so I'm going to go over the astrology real quickly. I'm not going to spend any time on it. You could watch this video. It's called Clash of the Titans. Just Google it or YouTube it, and you'll find it. But you can see here on the very first day, on June the 1st, we had the moon, the transiting moon, opposing the United States' moon. Okay, normally that wouldn't be anything, but there is a lot of challenging energy coming in right here in this part of the chart that involves other people. And I did say other people. Partnerships, relationships were going to be a little tricky right now. So do we see Elon and Trump? We see Putin and Trump. We see negotiations with other people. Graham and Blumenthal. And so we're seeing all this craziness unfold just on the very first day of the month. And so we're going to continue to see this nonsense. Let's see here. Let me move this forward. Okay, in Donald Trump's chart, it's going to get a little chaotic for him, because he's in the crosshairs right now this month, because he's a Gemini, June 14th. Mars is coming into a very strong position with him, which means he could be under attack, or he could be very aggressive on some level. Okay, especially since Uranus and Mars are going to be squaring each other, and Uranus is already squaring his ascendant right there. So we're looking at a bit of a chaotic situation for Trump, and the full moon on the 11th highlights his moon and his sun and everything else in this chart. So Trump is absolutely in front and center these next couple of weeks, as I mentioned in the video. Now, things begin to escalate on the 6th, which is tomorrow. The moon enters Scorpio in the evening right there. So I'm expecting the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, more of the stupidity to increase, because now the moon is going to be opposing Venus that just entered Taurus. And then it begins to square Pluto right there. So I'm expecting tomorrow into the weekend for more escalation, more stupidity going on in the world, and could be some financial matters that are taking place as well. So let's keep an eye on all that. The 7th, here it is, the transiting moon, once again, will be squaring. This is Pluto right there. Okay, and then it's also still opposing, loosely opposing Venus. So we're looking at some challenging energy coming in, friends, this weekend alone. So pay attention, see where it takes you in your personal life. It may just seem really chaotic. And so, do the best you can. Mercury conjunct Jupiter, I'm expecting some major announcements or news on Sunday. This is huge right there. So this could be a negotiation or something to do with a major announcement of some sort. So let's see where it goes. Now, Jupiter's going to go into Cancer on the 9th. This absolutely puts the United States front and center, as I pointed out in that video. So check it out. Here it is in the United States, this chart, and this has a lot to do with partnerships and relationships. So from this point forward, okay, this weekend forward, Jupiter, Mercury are in very strong positions in the United States' chart for other people, for relationships, for open enemies, because Jupiter and Mercury begin to square Saturn and Neptune down below. So I'm expecting some more friction. I'm expecting some more stupidity between people. I'm expecting some more major announcements or deals to be made that are not going to go well. Okay, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm just giving you an idea of some of the energy that's being indicated here. And so this could be a very interesting time for the United States. The full moon is absolutely off the charts for Trump, because it's going to be in Sagittarius at 20 degrees, but it'll also be squaring the North Node. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge for him, and we could find ourselves in some sort of conflict or major negotiations, or, again, another legal matter. And so, I mean, he's been hit left and right by all kinds of legal issues with the federal judges. So, and that continues. And so we'll continue to see that. And here it is in the United States' chart. It's in the first house of the United States of identity and self versus the sun there and Mars right in the crosshairs. So I'm expecting conflict. I'm expecting some friction. I'm expecting some people to get upset. I'm expecting irritation. And Uranus is still loosely square to the United States' moon. Okay, and look at Mars. So we have this loose T-square taking place here. So this full moon is bringing tensions to a heightened sense of awareness. So this could be very disruptive energy that's coming in around this time frame. So we'll have to see how it plays itself out. In Donald Trump's chart, again, his Mars, transiting Mars is conjuncting his Mars. We got the Uranus squaring his ascendant, of course, and he's got all this energy because of the full moon. He was born under a full moon. I believe it was a lunar eclipse. So he's got all this energy, all this, focused on him. He's got these squares going on to Neptune and Saturn. It would not surprise me that major announcements are made, or major executive orders are put out, or some sort of military intervention, because Mars represents military. So nothing would surprise me here with all this chaotic energy coming in from the 9th on. All right, so keep that in mind. It's also his birthday on the 14th. And so he's going to have one hell of a birthday. Let's put it that way. And so here's his solar return, as I pointed out in that last video. Looks a little chaotic, friends. Okay, so just to give you a heads up. And this date, June the 15th, oh man, talk about, intense energy, as I pointed out in the other video. It is off the charts. Once again, we have an exact Jupiter square Saturn, which means this push and pull between expansion and contraction. And so it's really rough. We're seeing the square between Mars and Uranus, which is basically a powder keg, which could explode at any moment. And it could be an explosion, a terrorist attack of some kind. That's very possible with these two interacting like that. But because Mars is in Leo, the sign of the king or the ruler or leaders, again, I'm expecting some major announcements from some form of leadership. It could be Mr. Trump, could be somebody else. So we'll see. Okay, and this is going to be a very volatile day leading up to, this entire next couple of weeks, very volatile, as I pointed out. In the United States' chart, extreme volatility, because now we have Saturn and Neptune both in the 4th house. They are both squaring Jupiter and the United States' chart right here, and these planets here. So there's going to be conflict. There's going to be friction. There's going to be major adjustments that need to be made here. There's no way around it, friends. So get ready, get your popcorn out, because it's going to get a little bumpy. All right. In Donald Trump's chart, once again, we have Mars exactly squaring, transiting Uranus right there. We see the Cancer planets in his 11th house. So friendships and negotiations may not go well for him right now. Especially if he's trying to negotiate a deal with Putin or any other people. This is going to be a bit of a challenge for him. Okay, so we'll see what happens, but I'm seeing some major friction here that can be a little challenging. So keep an eye on all this, okay? But here's my take on what's going on here, all right? Mr. Trump here, or President Trump, if some of you have given me a hard time about calling him Mr., which is retarded, but I'll put it out there anyway. President Trump, or Mr. Trump, is a brilliant individual. Looking at his chart, he's got Sun conjunct Uranus in Gemini. This is the sign of a genius. He's got a moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the philosopher, is a strategist. He's a highly intelligent individual. Again, he wouldn't have taken this position if he didn't think he was going to make a difference here. Remember, as I pointed out to so many over the years, he was chosen to be in this position. He accepted it because he knew what the end game was going to be. It is to take down or expose the deep state worldwide. Not just in the United States, worldwide. Okay? And that's what he's doing. There's a movement that's taking place, if you could see it, I know many of you can, that is awakening. The Great Awakening is occurring. He is showing you the pieces, the players, the strategies, how it's working, by slowly making moves to outsmart the opponent. Whoever's behind Mr. Trump and the team, the military intelligence team, is very evolved. They have 5 steps ahead already. So what you're witnessing with Elon, what you're witnessing with this sort of artificial chaos or friction, they are using high-level intelligence. I tuned into this. They are using AI that is beyond what we know of AI. Okay, what I'm saying is they have technology that is literally strategizing the moves that are going to happen. So they are doing this on purpose to cause conflict, or what appears to be conflict within the administration, or with Trump and Elon and maybe other people, is to flush out some of the players, to see who sides with Elon, to see who makes deals with Elon, to see who comes to the table. Everything is strategy, friends. So what we are witnessing right now is pure strategy. Do not let these skirmishes, this sideshow distract you. Okay? This is all about exposing the players. This is all about restructuring the financial system. The financial system is teetering, friends. As you know, I've pointed this out, and so many others have as well. They cannot continue to print the fake, phony money and lend it to governments. You understand? The jig is up. So this is what it's really all about. Now, if you really want to understand on a deep level, I found this channel, this YouTube channel, Promethean Updates. These 2 women do a fantastic job of telling you who the players are. And here it is. Here's a hint. British Royal Gambit backfires. This video alone is worth watching. It's only 13 minutes. Okay? She's got another one here. And so when you begin to see who the players are, you begin to see who the deep state is. Again, I've mentioned some of these people to you, or these organizations. You have to look at the big players. Don't just look at the front people. But this channel does a fantastic job. I highly recommend them. They are very, very much on point. Okay, so check them out. It's free. Just put their name in the title and check it out. But for the rest of you, again, every Sunday, we are in deep discussions about what's really going on. And I hope you join my group here. There's a 7-day free trial. And we talk about, everything unfiltered. So there I could talk freely, and members ask me questions. And we get much deeper there than I can on YouTube. Okay? So I left the link down below, so check it out. And I hope to see you in the community. And there's a lot of other benefits to being in the group every Sunday, with not just the Zoom calls, but you get to ask me questions about a birth chart. I don't do readings anymore, but if you have 1 or 2 questions about a birth chart, I don't mind answering them for you. And you connect with other people that are very much like-minded, who are posting all kinds of stuff that they can't post on regular social media. So anyway, I hope you consider joining. Anyway, I just wanted to give you this quick update. And stay tuned, friends, because it's about to get real interesting. All right? So do the best you can. Stay centered. And always remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And we're going through a massive transition right now. All right? So have a great week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.